Good morning, everybody. My name is Jane Trezise, and my colleague Nia Constant are delivering a presentation to you today from Carers Wales. We are both part of Carers Wales, which is part of the wider Carers UK team. I'm going to make a start now because it's just gone past 10. If there's a few people going to join us a bit later on, then they can catch up with it. But I just want to let you know that the presentation should be about 30 to 40 minutes long. There's going to be an opportunity at the end to ask questions, but obviously feel free to pop questions in the chat. Whilst we'll be delivering, we may not be able to answer all the questions immediately, but we'll come to them towards the end of the presentation, and we'll make a start. Can you click this slide, please, Nia? Thank you. So just to give you an overview of what we're going to be talking about today, we're going to introduce you to Carers Wales and Carers UK. We will be providing you with information relating to unpaid carers in Wales and across the UK, and give you an insight into what we do at Carers Wales. So first of all, to give you a little bit of background about Carers Wales, we've been in operation for almost 60 years. It will be our 60th anniversary in 2025. And our mission is to make life better for carers. And we also have a vision whereby a society that respects, values and supports unpaid carers. So as part of Carers UK, Carers Wales, we give advice, we connect carers to one another, we campaign and influence, and we try to innovate to find new ways to reach and support carers. So we don't actually give any direct advocacy support to unpaid carers. We provide advice, guidance and resources, which we'll come on to later in the presentation around the resources and the information that we can provide to unpaid carers. But we are also a membership organisation whereby unpaid carers can become a member. And by becoming a member to Carers Wales or Carers UK, you can access support via online forums. You can have opportunities to be involved with future campaigns and research, and for unpaid carers to have their voice heard, which is really important for unpaid carers to be understood and to be heard and to recognise the journey. All of our members would also have opportunity to attend events whereby they meet other carers, reduce feelings of isolation and loneliness, but also as an organisation we help people to identify as carers, because there are a lot of unpaid carers across Wales and the UK who don't recognise themselves as carers. They just see themselves as I'm a parent, I'm a daughter, I'm a son, I'm a husband, I'm a wife. You know, they don't actually recognise that they go above and beyond what they would do in those roles. So by raising awareness about unpaid carers, we also help support people to identify themselves as carers. A lot of our campaigning is done at a local and national level as well, and we campaign for the rights of carers to make their lives better and to support them in their roles.
So a little bit about the landscape of unpaid care in the UK. And there's an estimated 5.7 million unpaid carers in the UK, with 9 to 10.6% of the population providing unpaid care. 59% of unpaid carers are women, and 41% of new unpaid carers between 2010 and 2020 were aged 46 to 65. So here at Carers Wales, we've been campaigning with carers for nearly 60 years, transforming understanding and winning critical developments in carers' rights. For example, the Carers Leave Bill. We work actively to campaign for key issues, including affecting unpaid carers, and to ensure that the voices of unpaid carers are heard by those in power. Our State of Caring survey is the UK's most comprehensive research into the lives and experience of carers, which we undertake every year. So we work closely with government in terms of policy. We campaign for things like carers allowance and the carers leave bill. We try to use carers' voices and include their representation in everything we do. And we work closely with all the political parties as well. Our State of Caring survey tells us lots of information about the lives of carers in Wales, and the impact on things like finances, health and employment. So, for example, a quarter of carers cut back on essentials due to financial strain. 44% of those caring 35 plus hours a week live in poverty. 60% of carers report long-term health conditions and 29% often feel lonely. 75% of carers in employment worry about balancing work and care. So we provide a lot of information for carers for free to help them in their role as an unpaid carer. So we provide lots of different information guides and fact sheets. We've got a quite extensive YouTube channel with lots of different videos that people can watch. They're quite simple and short, so they can give plenty of information in a quick way. We've also got videos in Welsh, and we're currently producing them in different languages, such as Punjabi, Urdu and Romanian, to try and reach some wider communities. We have a national helpline, which is accessible via phone or email. And we also have some online resources like our Money Matters Hub and our Wellbeing Hub, which give carers much more information about managing their money and how to look after themselves as carers. So there are lots of free resources online, and things like our Me Time sessions, which are free sessions for carers they can access, which you'll hear about later.
So I'm just going to talk a little bit about carers in the workforce and provide you with a little bit of statistical information around how many carers there are in the workforce in England and Wales. So currently, we have 2.5 million unpaid carers in employment in England and Wales. And unfortunately, 600 people per day leave work to provide unpaid care. And 1 in 3 NHS staff are unpaid carers. And over 1.9 million people in paid employment become unpaid carers annually. So many people are, oh, sorry, Nick, you just go back to the other slide. Sorry. So many people are juggling employment and caring responsibilities. And as I mentioned earlier, a lot of them don't identify as an unpaid carer. Many organisations don't have carers passports or an unpaid carers charter, and so that can make life increasingly difficult for that work-life balance struggle. And I speak from experience myself, because not only do I work for Carers Wales, but I'm actually an unpaid carer. I'm a working carer as well. So I have a son who is autistic and needs a lot more additional support than an atypical child would. So I understand completely how difficult it can be to juggle caring responsibilities and working responsibilities, and how, unless you have a caring and understanding and empathetic employer, it can be really difficult to manage those responsibilities. Sorry, Nia, could you go to the next slide? Sorry, I'm messing you around with my slides, aren't I? So to help organisations supporting working carers, we, across the UK and at Carers Wales, we have EFC, which is Employers for Carers project. And we have an Employers for Carers manager based in Wales. And Employers for Carers is again a membership forum, and it's supported by our specialist knowledge. And the purpose of Employers for Carers is to ensure that employers have enough support to retain staff, which is really important, and manage appropriately those individuals with caring responsibilities. So our EFC project provides support for employers seeking to develop carer-friendly practices. So EFC can support employers to develop carer-friendly policies. They can provide lunch and learns for team leaders, for management. They can also provide a working lunch for working carers, which is solely for working carers, and provide information and resources to the employers to support them in managing working carers. And it can also, again, which is really important and which is a theme that which runs through our work, is helping people identify themselves as carers. We recently did a presentation this week actually to an employer in Newport, a big factory in Newport, and we delivered the presentation, the lunch and learn, to their mental health first aiders. And even during that presentation, members of the diversity and inclusion and mental health first aiders began to recognise themselves as carers through that presentation. So it is really vital. So with Employers for Carers, there are a huge amount of members across Wales. To name but a few would be Transport for Wales, the Welsh Ambulance Service, Companies House, Welsh Government, National Resources Wales, North Wales Police, and Wrexham County Borough Council. Pembrokeshire County Borough Council is also a member of ESC. And in addition to supporting organisations with developing carer-friendly policies and becoming carer confident, it will give the organisation access to digital platforms, which will include networking events, consultancy, training, promotional materials, and it also will offer discounted assessments around becoming carer confident, which is a benchmark for organisations which can encourage working carers to either remain with them, or it can encourage working carers to be employed by them.
So from our survey, we know that the impact on unpaid carers is much greater in underrepresented groups. So, for example, minority ethnic carers face greater financial struggles. 58% were worried about their finances. LGBTQ plus carers often feel lonely. 48% bisexual and 45% of lesbian and gay carers reported this. 27% of carers surveyed in 2022 have a disability themselves. Unpaid carers overall contribute £162 billion annually, which is equivalent to a second NHS. So we try to make our information resources as accessible as possible, and so that we can reach a wide audience. So we currently have a number of different guides available, and we produce these in English, and a lot of them are in Welsh now as well. We have information on getting a carers assessment. We've got our main guide, which is called Looking After Someone, which covers most of the topics which will affect unpaid carers. We've got more specific guides like coming out of hospital or when caring ends or changes. We've got fact sheets on carers allowance, personal independence payments, disability living allowance, and attendance allowance. We also have some very specific guides on caring for veterans, and also an LGBTQ plus guide. So as you can see here, we've produced some of them in Welsh, we've done Polish as well, and we're currently working on some bite-sized guides, which will also be translated into different community languages.
Sorry, on mute. With regards to our virtual support, we run a variety of online support sessions across Wales and the UK. With regards to Wales, we run an online support session for carers called Me Time, and Me Time they vary in length. They can be an hour to 2 hours. So not too long, because obviously we're conscious that carers have a huge amount of responsibilities, and it's really difficult to juggle, especially if they're working, to juggle caring responsibilities, work, and then looking after themselves. But we're very aware how the importance of how carers should be looking after themselves so that they can build resilience to be able to care for that person they're supporting. So as I said, the sessions are different lengths. They tend to be an hour to 2 hours. We try to run them at different times of the day so that we can ensure that carers can access them. If some carers can't access them at lunchtime, some are run in the evening, some are run in the mornings. So we try and vary the times that we facilitate. And obviously the events are online, so carers can access them from their own home. They're also free to attend, and it's very simple to register via our website. So with regards to the Me Time sessions, even though they all are different and they focus on different elements, they all centre around well-being, because we're conscious of how important it is for carers to support their well-being. The slide will show you some of the sessions that we've facilitated across September, and we've got a programme of Me Time sessions running through until January, which you can find on our website. But previous sessions we had in September, a few have been, we did a spotlight on dementia on Alzheimer's Day. We did a crafting session called Decoupage Shells, where we send out the crafting packs to the people that have registered online. We have done a return to work seminar, and in October we've got a Halloween themed crafting session coming up. We've got a session around self-advocacy. We have a session in the evening around painting trees with drips, so and tackling loneliness. So as you can see, the sessions are very varied, so that they may not suit everybody, but there's something there for all interests and all aspects of caring as well. So those sessions are free, and you can find those resources and the sessions on our website.
We also have an app which is called Jointly, and it's our mobile and online app which is designed to help carers share and coordinate care. And this works by enabling carers to set up a circle of care around the person they care for. So they can then invite others who are involved in providing that care, so family, friends, neighbours and professionals, so that everyone's kept in the loop. It's available in English and Welsh and offers a central place to store and share important information. There's group communication tools such as a shared calendar and a task list, and notes and a medication manager. So this makes it easy for them to communicate, and they can just send that as a text message. It's been evaluated by carers and found to reduce carer stress, particularly when balancing work and care and sharing caring responsibilities with others.
So in addition to our EFC project and the campaigning and influencing that we do, we also recruit and support volunteers within Carers Wales, and that's actually my role. I'm the volunteer officer for Carers Wales. So we currently have 3 volunteering opportunities within the organisation. So we have a community champion, a carer voice champion, and a workplace champion. And I'll just talk briefly through those roles and their impact within the organisation. So the community champion is somebody that can spare maybe an hour to 2 hours per month. So it's really flexible and it's done remotely. We would provide resources, literature, leaflets, and the community champion would share those resources across community spaces within their local area. So any community spaces whereby a carer may frequent, such as a doctor's surgery, pharmacy, library, community hubs, and so on. And they will share those resources and ask to put up posters or share leaflets. Our community champions will also support staff in hosting information stands at either events or pop-ups at different community spaces. And again, that role can be very flexible and is done remotely, and we have community champions based across the whole of Wales. The carer voice champion is quite a more specific role, and a carer voice champion would be someone with either past or present experience of caring, but must have that lived experience, because they lend their voice to campaigns and influencing. So the Carer Voice Champion would support our policy team in sharing their experiences and sharing with our policy team the priorities they feel are important for unpaid carers. And they work closely with the policy team, and they can do various different roles. Again, they can work remotely and just send testimony via email or a chat over the phone, or they can be as involved in providing sound bites or interviews for local and national media. And they can also represent us at conferences and events. So it's very varied. However, we are led by the carer themselves with regards to that role, because we're also conscious that sharing experiences can be quite triggering and quite emotional. So we try and limit their activity to what they feel they're capable of doing, and are led by the volunteer with regards to their involvement within the organisation and what they do. We will have one of our volunteers speaking at our policy conference in November as part of in an expert panel, and also speaking about their experiences of being an unpaid carer in Wales. So that's the Carer Voice Champion. Workplace Champion is slightly different. It's for somebody that's currently working and can raise awareness within their organisation around unpaid carers and working carers. So obviously in the earlier slide, we mentioned about how many unpaid carers juggle employment and caring responsibilities across England and Wales, and that's 2.5 million. So the Workplace Champion will raise awareness within their organisation and be a vital link between their organisation and Carers Wales. They'll signpost those looking for support to our resources and to expert information that we can offer. And again, the role can be flexible and be carried out remotely. Just briefly on how we support our volunteers at Carers Wales. So we have regular volunteer get-togethers. We obviously, being an all Wales charity, our volunteers are geographically remote, so we can have volunteers in the north, in the west, in the south. So we do have 2 in-person get-togethers twice a year. We have one in the summer, and we have one coming up at Christmas. We have our Members and Volunteers Roadshow coming up on the 4th of December in Cardiff. And we have monthly newsletters whereby we share all of our information and recognise contributions from our volunteers and provide updates with regards to the organisation and opportunities we have coming up. They will have regular updates from me, and they will have the opportunity to have a full induction and training. So once a volunteer applies to become a volunteer with Carers Wales, they'll receive an induction. They'll also receive a volunteer pack with resources, and they'll be invited to any training opportunities that we have. We recently facilitated communication training with an organisation called Script to our volunteers, and that was really well received. We are also facilitating quarterly online drop-in sessions, which is an opportunity for our volunteers to have a little bit of a social, to chat with other volunteers, share ideas, have a catch up. And also the majority of our volunteers have a care experience, either past or current. So it's also an opportunity to link in with other carers as well. So we have some dates to remember coming up with Carers Wales. So November the 23rd is Carers Rights Day, which is a day which we will start to promote in the coming weeks, because it's really important for carers to understand their rights and to recognise what their rights are, whether they're a working carer or a full-time carer caring for a loved one or a relative. We always have Carers Week, which is in the first week of June, and that always highlights the the unseen work that unpaid carers achieve throughout the year, and recognise their importance for us and how much they do to support our economy. And then coming up in 2025, we have Carers UK's 60th anniversary, and everybody within the organisation is currently really busy trying to plan the different events to recognise our achievement in remaining within the third sector for 60 years, and especially now in such a turbulent time for the sector. So that's all of our info. That's all of our presentation for today. That's all of our contact information. We do have an office in Cardiff, on the outskirts of Cardiff. The direct telephone number to the office is there. We also have an info@ email address, and we are on social media platforms as well. What I also should mention as well is that we have an advice line for carers as well, so they can phone up for free and independent advice, and they can either phone us up for that, or they can email us, and that's available Monday to Friday 9 till 6 p.m. So that's our presentation for this morning. I think we finished a couple of minutes early, so if you would like to ask us any questions or have any reflections on the presentation, please feel free to share it in the chat, or ask us any questions. We're happy to answer them. So we've got a question in the chat. So who can become a volunteer? Anybody can become a volunteer if you can spare a couple of hours a month. That's all the commitment that we kind of ask. The roles are quite varied, and volunteering, the landscape of volunteering has really changed over the past few years. So we're very conscious that volunteering has to fit in with people's roles and responsibilities, their work. So all of our volunteer roles can be fulfilled remotely and flexibly. To become a volunteer, all you need to do, there's a form online, which I can pop in the chat. Actually, I can pop it in the chat after I've finished sharing the information. So it's a very simple kind of, you can either fill it in online, or you can email volunteer@carerswales.org, and I can send a hard copy. And the process is, we'll receive the completed inquiry form, and then once we receive that, I will then get in touch with the applicant and have a chat through the roles, what they feel they'd like to, which role they feel would sit with them, which role they feel they're able to fulfill. Because I think it's important when you're volunteering that you enjoy it and you actually want to do it. It's not seen as an added burden. So I would always talk through the roles, the responsibilities, what's required, and go from there. But yeah, it's a very straightforward process. It's not an arduous form by any stretch of the imagination. It's quite simple. We want to keep it simple, straightforward. And then once you've decided upon the role you'd like to do, I do a brief induction, and then we're good to go. And then I will support all of the volunteers that we have in Wales. We currently have 50 volunteers working across different parts of Wales in different roles, and we're always looking to add to our numbers. So I'll pop the link in the chat now. So I've just popped the link in the chat to where the volunteer application form is. Are there any other questions? And also, if anybody is currently working at the moment and would like us to come and do a lunch and learn to your organisation, or to provide a lunch and learn for working carers, then that's something we can absolutely do. I'm going to put my contact email in the chat, and you just drop me a line, and we can organise that for you. We have the Employees for Carers manager can facilitate those, and we did 2 of those this week. And in the run up to Carers Rights Day, a lot of organisations want to raise awareness of working carers within their workforce, and to remind them of the policies that are available within the organisation. So if that's something that anyone would like, that's something we can also offer. We have also got a policy conference for professionals coming up on the 13th of November. It's our Carers Wales policy conference. So that's also available on Eventbrite, and it's free to register. But what I would say is that the Carers Wales website is a really good resource. So all of the information sheets, fact sheets, guides that Nia talked about during the presentation, they're all available on PDF format on the Carers Wales website. So you can download them through the website, but you can also phone our office in Cardiff if you wanted hard copies, to be able to, some people like physical copies, and I totally understand that. I like the physical copies in my hand. So if you want those copies, you can phone our office, and we can distribute those out as well. And also, if anything has resonated with you on this call today, and you want to talk to us about accessing support and advice as a carer, then by all means, please get in touch with us. We'll be able to support you and guide you in the direction that you need. What we're trying to do is reduce the loneliness that carers can feel when you're juggling so many different responsibilities. It can feel really overwhelming and lonely, and I speak from personal experience with regards to that. I can completely understand how challenging it can be when you're a carer and you've got so many different things to think of. So if anything has resonated with you today and you want to get in touch with us, then by all means, please reach out either on the contact information that we've shared in the slides today. Nia's just put in the chat the advice line for Carers Wales. It's a free phone number, and as I mentioned earlier, it's open Monday to Friday, 9 till 6 p.m. and you can phone and ask for free independent advice with regards to your caring situation. You can also email them if you don't want to phone, but if you email, it will be, they tend to respond within 48 hours rather than give you an immediate response. So there's both options there. Does anybody have any more questions? Okay, well, if you go away, I know today was a lot of information to absorb in 35 minutes, so I appreciate that's a lot of information to take on board and to understand. So if after today's webinar you go away and you think of a question, then by all means, please do get in touch with us. I've put my email in the chat, and I'll just put in the, oh, Nia, could you put in the info app, because I can't remember it off the top of my head.
Is that the info?
The info email address?
Yeah.
Because I can't remember it off the top of my head. Yeah, so if you after absorbing all of the information today and listening to us and our presentation, and you go away and you think, oh, I wish I had have asked of that, then please do get in touch with us, and we'll be able to answer any questions that may have happened, that may come to light after the presentation's ended. But thank you so much for taking the time out to oh yeah, Nia's just popped it in the chat there, so it's info@carerswales.org. I don't know how I forgot that, but there we go. So if you have any questions or queries, you can always email the info app box. But yes, thank you so much for coming along to our presentation today. Really appreciate the opportunity to speak to everybody and give you an insight into what we do at Carers Wales, and how we try and support and raise awareness of unpaid carers across Wales and the UK. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye-bye.